Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers, both Facebook group and YouTube channel. And today is a continuation of what was going to be a 2-video series, and that was called All These Pages. Now, this one is called All This Ephemera. This is a continuation, even though it's going to be a separate series, on all these pages. Now, we got our signatures put together in the first 2 videos, and let me do a little thing here of the one of the signatures real quick so we can see what we have to deal with here. So we've got ephemera can be put on this page even though it's a writing page, or we can use stencils, which I didn't get one out and I should have, and we can also use stamps. So we could take a couple of stencils and pick a picture and stencil it on this paper, except for these are stuck together. Impromptu video again. I guess I'll have to do that later. But so we've got some stencils that we can use that have flowers or decorative patterns on them. I don't know how easy it is to see these. Okay, I guess you can see them. Okay, I had to look sideways over into the camera. So we've also got this page, which we can definitely put a pocket on. Same on this side, or some other type of ephemera. We'll talk about that in a minute. We've got this page. So far we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't want to do anything to that or that. Oh, actually we were going to put a pocket on this. So that's going to be 6. So we're going to have quite a few pages in here. And 7, 8. I'm not going to do anything on the writing pages, except I'm going to do stencils on each one. So I'm going to consider stencils as ephemera because it's an add-on like ephemera. So where are we at? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and I like to put a pocket in the back. So that's 14 pages in each one. Now, we do have quite a bit of ephemera here that we're going to be looking at. Let me move these out of the way. Let me move some of this here like this. Now, this big stack here, actually, let me do this. Okay, this big stack here are all pockets. Now, some of these are designed to be stacked like this by themselves, or there's a couple that go the other way, but I'm not sure. Maybe this one to go the other way. That would be kind of fun. You know, we can look at that. We can also do them by themselves. We've got some larger pockets, which I don't know, I kind of feel like even though they do fit on the pages. Oh, and by the way, I cut most of these out with my brother Scan and Cut, except these, which for some reason they didn't want to cut out correctly, so I cut them out by hand. But these will fit on the page, so this would be a good pocket for the back page, actually. As you can see here, I don't want to use this one because it's exactly the same. These are a little bit stuck together. They're a little, I used some extra sticky on the sheet for the, so this one would be pretty. So you're going to have to kind of plan what you want. Now, this many pockets, since we have 10 pages, may or may not be enough, because we're not going to use this many big ones. We're not going to use this many small ones. I think what I'm probably going to do is use my graphics program, and even though this looks like a lot, I may make some of these a little bit smaller and make some in between size pockets. Okay, and I have a video on that, on how to crop your videos, your images, your ephemera. But you know what, the cropping one I don't think maybe will apply, so I will make a video, and you'll be able to see that in the YouTube channel list on how to resize your ephemera. Okay, so now we've got the pockets, and remember we've got 2 signatures, so we may have to print duplicates. Okay. I especially like this one and that one. I love that little bird. Okay, so we got that. And in case you're wondering, no, I didn't write a script for this one, or not a script, but a list of things I wanted to cover. So you could even do it like that, and that would make an interesting pocket as well. You'd have 2 pockets. I'm going to flip some as well so that we have some of the same size. Now these, let's look at these smaller pockets. These have some going both ways. And by that I mean the taller side is on the right, the taller side is on the left, so you can stack them. However, I don't really want to stack them and cover the pictures on each other. You see what I mean? So these go this way, this goes this way, and then there's one each of a graphic. So personally, I feel like I said, I need a medium pocket so that I have a smaller one that goes on here, but maybe not, well, you see, I don't know. These are the things that you need to decide. For some reason, I'm having a little trouble talking this morning. So we've got pockets. We may need more pockets. I know that seems silly, but we might. Envelopes. We've got envelopes. We've got 3 different sizes. Each envelope comes with a little image that fits inside. On another side note, I printed mine so they had something on the back and they weren't white. They're all tan on the back, and it kind of looks like paper. I hope you can see that. Kind of looks like paper. Okay, and so there's this one and this one, and this one and this one. This one goes with this one, so the envelopes are pretty on the outside. Then there's this great big one. Now this is something we could put in the pocket in the back of one of the signatures, and then we could take and put maybe these 2 in the back of the other one. We'll have to see. These are we have to decide what we're going to do. We have to decide. Okay, so we've also got these tickets. Now these tickets can be cut separate, or you can fold them. You can cut them in half and fold them so it looks like one ticket, but there's an image on both sides. I have printed them tan on this side. You can leave them like this and make a belly band, which I think would be a little tall for this. You could cut one off and make a belly band. That's another option. So you probably want to print another one of these. Now these are on pages with other pictures, so you're going to want to look at your pages and see if it's worth printing the whole page just to get that, because I believe this is on an envelope page. Okay, now we've got all these little guys that we can use as embellishments on pages. I realize they're embellishments, but we can make them in embellishments. There's a bunch of words. Let me see if I can get a few. Here's some. There's a bunch of words, and they will fit nicely on here. And then we can also just put them on the page wherever we want. Okay. There's also some tabs to make tabs for the pages. You fold these in half. Some people cut them out first. Some people cut them out once they've folded them. I'm a cut it out after you fold it kind of girl, so they're even. And more kind of specialized ephemera is here. Make these into cards. All of these are going to be cards that go in these smaller pockets. I especially like the way my Scan and cut this one out. So that I can use it separate by itself. Separate by itself. That pretty much means the same thing, doesn't it? But I can use it separately on a page. Maybe one of the writing pages. I like these feathers. Okay, so we've got that in our little miscellaneous pile. Oh, and this bird cage, which I like as well. All right, we've got, like I said, we've got these three that are going to be cards. These are tags. Now, on a side note on tags, or on a note on tags, I feel like we need more tags. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break out my template keeper, which I made in another video called Template Keeper. Never mind. And I even snort laughed. It's all you guys' fault. So this is a template for a pocket that you fold the corners in, and that makes it a little more three-dimensional, so you can put more stuff in it. And this looks like a pocket that might be big enough for some of these, and it's a corner pocket, so that would be nice. The pockets we have so far are all kind of put them on the bottom pockets. You see them still in the picture? Yeah. And so that looks like something we could use. We need some tags. I have several different size tag templates. This one is a template for a tag that opens up. I wrote template on the inside, so I didn't mix it up with one for the for a project, even though it was one for a project. So that one's a possibility. And then in here, I have corner pockets. I have lots of pockets in here that will work, different sizes. So we can think about pockets. If we don't want just bottom pockets, we got a lot of pockets. So here's some other different size tags that we can use. And so we've got these three. I think even though I've got more, I might use one of these because they've got a special top to them. We're not going to use all of them, but I'm setting them aside just in case. Yeah, and that's all for in there. And we've got these, which I feel like would go on a page. We've got these that need tags. I think they're the same size as some of these, but then you can't use them in both places. Now, can you? This is just crying out for a fussy cut to go in here. And for fussy cuts, other than these that came with the kit, I'd also like some birds, maybe a couple more feathers in different sizes. So what I've done is I've printed out more pages. Yes, more pages. And I'm going to fussy cut out the bird and the feather on this one. And the birds on this one. The birds on this one. And then for this, it's printed on both sides. Oh, I also have this envelope in pink, which I'll probably make as well. That way we'll that way we'll have a big one for each signature. Yeah, that's a good idea. Now, we had these offcuts that we can make into tags, which I forgot. They're printed on both sides, so that would be fun. This feather one, I believe, is feathers on both sides. These are white on the back. They're the tan color. I'd like to make a fussy cut out of this. So put that with the fussy cuts. And I may not use all of them, but I've got 2 signatures with, what, 10 pages to fill. These I'm going to make tags out of. The bird cages on one side and tan on the other. Feathers on one side, tan on the other. Blue on one side, tan on the other. Okay, this one has the pink on the other side. So that's what we're going to do with these. Fussy cuts and tags. Okay, so that's all there is for this video. I'm going to make another video once I've got the fussy cuts done, and then we're going to start putting them on the pages. And this was just kind of a how do you organize and how do you add to your ephemera set that you've already got. So these are going to go with this. We're going to make a pocket maybe. We could get out a couple other pockets. We're not restricted by these. They're all the same shape. So we might want some other shaped pockets. Okay, I'm going to paper clip this to that. And see, we're going to need a couple of tags to fit here as well. Yeah, these cards are the wrong size. I might just resize some. We'll have to see. So there is some manipulation and some additional work that you need to do if you're going to make custom ephemera. I might make a couple of these postcards smaller. Oh, and this I have a special plan for. It's printed on both sides. I'm not going to cut them apart, even though they are meant to be cut apart and made into tags. I'm going to leave them as they are. Oh, and on a side note, believe it or not, some of this ephemera is going to need to be inked, even though a lot of them have color around the edges. It's more of a decoration. It isn't really it doesn't really get rid of that white edge. So most of this ephemera is going to have to be inked. I originally had said I was going to use pumice stone, but I don't think I'm going to use that. I think I might use my green, which is going to be bundled sage, which is a nice color to go with items like this. I'm going to double check. I'm going to test it on something. Probably an offcut of one of these to double check and see. So that's something you're going to have to think about as well. Are you going to ink your ephemera, and or what color are you going to ink your ephemera? Remember, you can use more than one color. So I may also use one of the browns or one of the pinks. It depends. I can mix and match, and that way I can also decide. So that's going to be really it for this video, and in the next video we're going to start putting the ephemera in our signatures. Okay, I know I said that I was done with part 1, but I really wanted to make this no more than a 3-part series, so I decided to come back and make this one a little bit longer. Now what I'm going to show you now is a couple things. I use this when I make mini albums if they're going to have photographs in them. So these are the standard size of photographs. These are this is a 5x7, 2x3, which most people don't use wallet size anymore, but you never know. 3.5 by 2 is also the same, is a size that you would use for a smaller area of a picture. Like if somebody cuts a picture out, you got 3 by 5 and 6 by 4, 4 by 6. So we could use this 3 by 5 to make a writing card, or I think the 6 by 4 might be a little too big, but we might definitely be able to use the 3 by 5 unless we're going to just use our paper trimmer for that. So you can mark it out and get an idea if it's going to work, and then cut it out. So that's that. The other thing I wanted to show you is, remember I was talking about what color I should use to do the inking that I need to do, and especially on things that I cut out I'm going to need. This is a swatch paper, and these are all of the inks colors that I have of the Tim Holtz. In fact, I think I missed a couple, so I'm going to make a new one, plus a little bit more orderly. So if you make one of these, as you get your inks, it's a lot easier to decide what color is going to work. You can just hold this up against your different ones. You would think that whereas shaded lilac would work, but look, shaded lilac is blue, so your milled lavender would be better. That's a very light color though. Some things you just kind of have to know about the colors because you've used them a little bit. So there's that. Okay, and now let's use our template and make a couple of tags and a couple of writing cards. Okay, so I'm not going to show you fussy cuts. For those of you who are new, a fussy cut is where you take and you fussily cut out a detail out of a picture, a magazine picture, anything you can think of, a photograph that you don't need anymore. You know what I mean? Maybe you have a digital copy of it or something like that. And look, this feather on this page would be nice. Plus, then you could have some of the music left over that you could fussy cut out. So, and the birdhouse. There's a lot of different things just on this one page. You would probably have to decide, right? You could fussy cut out the bird and the birdhouse together, which I think would be a nice thing to do. And then the bird feather also. That way you wouldn't have to use this whole page. But let's say this is a misprint, so I had to use the other half of the page, or a miscut. So I had to use the other half of the page, and I had this page left over. Okay, so that's a fussy cut. Now for tags. These are the templates that I have. And I'd like to make a tag, I'm pretty sure out of this one. This one is printed on both sides the same. For this one, it's not printed on the back. Oh, that's because these are our fussy cut pages. Here's some more. I'm going to fussy cut out these birds. And I'm going to fussy cut out these birds and the feather. Same here. Okay, so let's get our tag templates out, and all we're going to do is we're going to trace around these. Now I should have probably, let's move this ephemera, the big stack of ephemera, let's move it out of the way, and the little stack too. And I had it all sorted too. So anyway, the two colors of ink that I've decided to use are Vintage Photo and Antique Linen. And a lot of times I'll call this Antique Photo just because in my brain that's what it should have been called. Okay, so we got that set aside. Okay, so I'm going to trim the edges off of these real quick. which I should have done. Just do them as we use them, because I can probably show you all three on this one page, or all three or four, or you'll probably get it right after I show you the first one. Now, we can take this page, we can put this template. I would recommend, now this one's got rounded corners, but you can cut it out square and then round it out. I would recommend put it up against the corner in the corner. No, let's make sure we can see our pencil against this. Yeah. Now, you can also use clear stencils, which you can make out of acetate, and you cut out. Now, these are, let me say this first, these are tags from another kit. That's why they're printed. You can also make acetate templates, which if you're going to make a template so that you can see, like let's say like on that one with the bird, let's say we wanted to make a tag out of that bird in the house, which we could easily do. If you had an acetate or a clear see-through template, then you could maneuver it to where it's in the exact spot that you need much more easily. So now this one is long, so let's put it over here. And you see, we'll be able to cut this without cutting the edge on this side. All we have to do is do this in a straight line. A lot of times it's best to hold the edge right down tight. Flip this around. So you want this to be exact because we want to fold this one in half. I'm just going to make a mark there because we're going to want to trim that one end, because otherwise one end is going to be longer than the other. Okay, so now we've got that one. You'll notice that I'm fitting more than one on the page. I don't necessarily need a feather one. You know what? And so I think I'm going to leave this and go back to this and go to 6x4. See if I can do this without taking it off. And go to this corner. Sure. Nope, it's just a little too big. So I could probably do a couple of 3x5s. I better take it off the ring. These are rings that you can get from the office supply section of Amazon. And they just have a little closure, and you pull it this way and then it comes apart. They work great for all kinds of things. All right, so let's put this up against here, and all we have to do is mark here and here and here. Maybe over there, because I made that line a bit crooked. And then once we cut that, let's make a mark right here, and then we can just cut this all the way to the edge. So do you see how many I fit all on that one page? So now cutting them out, let's cut the long one off first. I'm getting messages like crazy. I have a friend that's ill, so I may have to put you on pause. And I'm just going to leave this so that we can cut that out by hand. Oops, we needed to make this one end just a smidge shorter. Not much. Okay. So now let's cut these. Cut the long side. Now we'll cut it in half. Okay, so now let's cut this. Now we've got a scrap that could be used as a tag. Probably shouldn't do this on my board because then I end up now the easiest way to make this into a tag is to lightly fold like this. Just kind of pinch the corner. Take your scissors, cut it at an angle, leaving a flat spot on the top. And then when you open it up, you've got a tag. Okay? Make sure to go around and erase your lines that you still have. And this one you're just going to cut out around the line. I think you can do that without me showing you. These are 2 writing cards or tags, and this one we're going to have to trim a little bit. It's still got the white, or if you don't mind the white on there, you could leave it on, I guess. Little white stripe on one side. Okay. Now, this one, all we have to do is cut out these 2 points. Or you could score it first. Also, I use paper from Amazon. It's by Neenah, N-E-E-N-A-H, and it's 65 pound, and it's got what they call a vellum finish on it. And it feels different than, it's not vellum, it's just got a vellum finish, and it feels so much better than regular cardstock. And if you try it, I don't think you'll ever go back to the other for this pound. You can't get it in the next one up, which is the 90 pound, which is medium. This is still cardstock though, or the 110, which is the heavier cardstock that you would use to make something that looks even more raised up. Okay, those scraps are too small to save. So now you've gotten 2 writing cards, 2 tags, and a big double tag out of 1 piece of paper. Okay, so now we're going to take the big tag, even though we haven't cut it out yet. Let's take this big tag. We're going to get our stencil out. See how I want to do this. I think I'll do it from this corner. I'm lining up this corner where it goes right there and it looks like an end of something. And I'm going to try to just do this one part right here in the corner. Now I'm going to take out the brush for Vintage Photo, which I'm not sure where it is. Let's use this brown one. And then all you do is rub it over the area you want to make the stencil go through. I'm trying to be careful and just get the part I want. Sometimes that's difficult with a stencil like this. Okay, then you lift it up, and now I have that on the corner. I'm going to flip it over. And if I do it on the same corner when it's facing me, then it will be on the opposite corner on the card. Okay. You can just go like this. If you hold your thumb on there, it'll keep it from moving around. You don't necessarily want to do it very dark. Okay. So now we've got decorated ephemera that looks very nice. I tend to like to do the same stencil all the way across, you know, in the project, or something similar, you know. Okay, there, on the writing card, and on this writing card. Now, we're probably going to do it on, or I, off camera, and probably going to do this on other things in the kit, some of the other tags and writing cards, and I'll probably do some in the antique linen as well. Now, something else you can do is you can offset this just a little bit. Same spot, line it up, then move it over just a little bit. And do it in the other color. And that makes like a shadow. Let's see how that turns out. Well, I went a little too far on that, but it makes it a little more interesting. Okay, so we've got this version, and we've got that version. That one's a little more interesting, let's say. Okay, so that's that. I'm trying to see if there was something else I was going to show you. Oh, this here. Now, you don't have to use just tags, and this is supposed to be cut apart into tags, okay? And I do want to ink it, but I'm not going to ink it now. I'll show you what I'm going to do first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my scoreboard, which is behind a book. Sorry about that. Okay. Move some stuff out of the way, huh? I'm going to score it across these lines right here. Now, I've made a mark with a marker down the center of one of the lines. I wish I had done it at 6 inches, but I didn't, because that way things that you need to line up in the center of the board, this one you could line up at the end, and it does just happen to line up. and do that. And then we're going to do this one, which doesn't really line up, so I'm going to move it over to where it lines up with the one on with the black. Okay, so now what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to see if it works, just to make it something different and something interesting, is I'm going to fold this under, then I'm going to fold this under, and then I'm going to trim this corner. So now when you're looking at the tag, you think it's just a tag, an any old regular tag, but really you fold it out like this, you fold it out like this, and we are going to put some ephemera on it. Okay? I don't know what you think about that, but I kind of like it. Something different. Okay? And I think that that is all I'm going to show for this half of the video, and together that will make about 40 minutes or so, and that should be good for this one. Think about those kind of things when you're making your ephemera, and then I'll come back with the fussy cuts and the rest of the ephemera stamped and inked and whatever, and then we will talk about putting it on the different pages. Okay, so that's really it for this video, and I will see you in the next video, and that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye-bye.